Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning and greetings to Dr. Mutiah bin Muhammad as our lecturer in Organizational Change and Development. My name is Muhammad Muhayyad bin Jamal, and today I will begin our case study presentation on change and organization development, focusing on Top Glove Corporation Berhad, an organization that experienced significant changes in the post-pandemic era. This case study examines key organizational development issues, the change initiatives taken, and the effectiveness of those actions in helping the organization adapt and sustain its business. Therefore, working with me in this presentation are Nur Azwaninda binti Jamaluri, Riz Wahida Shahira binti Rizalman Haizam, Shahira binti Sabri, and Afif Fahmi bin Muhammad Zaki. Each of us will be covering different sections of the case study. To begin, I would now like to invite Afif Fahmi bin Muhammad Zaki, who will present the background of the organization and explain why Top Glove Corporation Berhad was selected for the case study. Afif, you may proceed.
Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Afif Fahmi bin Muhammad Zaki. In this video, I would like to talk about the background of Top Glove. Top Glove was founded in Malaysia in 1991 by Tan Sri Dr. Lim Wee Chai. It is the world's largest rubber glove manufacturer, growing from one factory to a global leader with operations in Malaysia, Thailand, and China, serving customers in 195 countries. Known for its efficient, low-cost production and strategic growth, the company also produces other healthcare or household products and is listed on Bursa Malaysia and the Singapore Exchange, emphasizing quality and global expansion.
For the organizational development issue, Top Glove faced two main challenges during the post-pandemic period. The first issue involved ethical and structural change, and the second issue focuses on sustaining business performance after the pandemic. Firstly, Top Glove faced significant ethical and structural challenges due to forced labor allegations involving migrant workers. In July 2020, the United States imposed an import ban on Top Glove products following concern over labor practices. This issue was critical because the US market accounted for approximately 25% of the company's total sales, posing a major risk to revenue and global reputation. This situation revealed weaknesses in corporate governance, human resource management, and ethical oversight within the organization. The company faced high reputational damage, operational disruption, and loss of stakeholder trust. In response, Top Glove implemented corrective action in 2021, including improvement in governance structures, human resource policies, and labor standards. As a result of this organizational development intervention, the US import ban was lifted in September 2021. From an organizational development perspective, this issue required deep structural and cultural change, highlighting the importance of ethical leadership, strong governance, and sustainable people management. Secondly, sustaining business performance became a major organizational development issue for Top Glove after the COVID-19 pandemic. During the pandemic, the company experienced exceptional financial performance due to the surge in global demand for medical gloves. This is reflected in the company's return on equity, which peaked at 218.65% in 2021. However, as global demand declined after the pandemic, Top Glove faced excess production capacity, higher operating costs, and reduced profitability. This is evident from the sharp decline in ROE to only 5.39% in 2022. From an organizational development perspective, this situation indicates that the Top Glove struggled to realign its strategy, structure, and resource in response to changing market conditions. It highlights limitations in organizational adaptability and long-term sustainability planning. In conclusion, this issue shows that Top Glove challenges were not only financial, but also relates to the organizational development, leadership, and governance.
In this presentation, I will explain how Top Glove overcame two major challenges through organizational change and development. The first issue was the forced labor allegation that led to a US import ban in July 2020. This exposed serious weakness in top glove governance and human resource system. In response, the company implemented a comprehensive ethical reform program. Top Glove repaid recruitment fees to over 12,000 migrant workers, amounting to more than 36 million US dollars, upgraded worker accommodation, and strengthened labor and HR policy. Independent verification by Impact confirmed this improvement, and as a result, the US import ban was lifted in September 2021. External regulators, independent verifiers, and top glove board and senior management act as a key change agent driving this transformation. The second issue was sustaining the business after the COVID-19 pandemic. During the pandemic, Top Glove performance peaked with return on equity reaching over 200% in 2021. However, when glove demand declined post-pandemic, ROE dropped sharply in 2022. To address this, Top Glove implemented strategic and structural changes, including rationalizing excess production capacity, reducing costs, and tightening capital expenditure, and shifting towards higher value glove products. This action improved organizational adaptability in a highly competitive and oversupply market. From an organizational development perspective, Top Glove reflects the lobbying change model. External pressure help unfreeze existing practices. Targeted intervention enable change, and governance reform strategic realignment help to refreeze new and more sustainable way of operating. Overall, Top Glove demonstrate how planned organizational change that can restore ethical legitimacy and long-term business sustainability.
Thank you, Mohayat. Next, I will be presenting the effectiveness of the actions for the forced labor issues. Top Glove took actions that were very effective in reducing forced labor risks. For example, they repaid over 12,000 migrant workers, which helped reduce financial exploitation and improve working conditions. This action also improved worker trust and compliance. Workers become more motivated and willing to follow labor standards, creating a safer and fairer workplace. External verification by organizations like Impact increase the company's credibility, giving stakeholders confidence that the company was serious about ethical practice. Overall, these actions lowered reputational and operational risks, especially in key markets such as the United States. Next, we will talk about success of the change process. For the first issue, the change process at Top Glove can be considered successful. They corrected unethical practice by improving worker accommodation and HR policies. External pressure, like the US import ban, created urgency for change. Without it, the company might have delayed taking action. Ethical reforms were institutionalized through HR policies, making the changes permanent rather than temporary fix. However, long-term success depends on continuous reinforcement. The company needs to monitor and maintain ethical practice to prevent old problems from returning. Next, I will pass to Riz Wahida to present the second issues.
Thank you, Azwanida, for your explanation. Now, I will continue for the second issue. After the pandemic, Top Glove faced a big drop in demand and ROE. To handle this problem, the company took several actions. Based on the NST article, Top Glove improved cost control to reduce expenses and work more efficiently. The company also improved its ESG practices, and this led to an upgrade to an ESG rating. This shows better management and working standards. Top Glove also focused more on the US market after getting approval for the US custom. Since demand in US is increased, this helped support the company's recovery. Okay, so now let's continue to the next part. The change process was successful. Top Glove returned to making profit after facing losses, and the company started to use its factories better. According to the ANST article, average selling prices in the glove industry are now more stable after the downturn. This shows that the market situation is improving. The whole glove industry is also showing a sign of recovery. The Age reported that the executive chairman, Tan Sri Dr. Lim Wee Chai, said the company has turned a corner, meaning the Top Glove has passed the difficult period.
Next, let's move on to evaluation of intervention, whether we agree or disagree. For the first issue, we agree with the interventions Top Glove implemented. They directly tackle the root causes of forced labor, such as unfair recruitment and poor accommodation. The action will align with the international labor standards, improving the company's reputation globally. Next, third-party verification strengthened trust, showing stakeholders that the company was committed to real change. Finally, this intervention were appropriate for crisis-driven organizational change. During the pandemic and U.S. import ban, the action were urgent, effective, and suitable.
Okay, so for the second issue, we agree with the action taken by the Top Glove. The action of focusing on the US market was a good decision because it helped the company increase their demand. Although the action were mostly taken after the problem happened, they were still effective. The company focused on improving efficiency instead of expanding too fast, which this helped reduce risk. The leadership also shows that they can learn from mistakes and they can adapt to changes in the market.
So next, we will talk about recommendation of the issues. For the first issues, even though Top Glove made progress, we suggest three main recommendations. First, embed ethical practice into organizational culture. Ethical labor standards should be part of leadership values and daily operations, so all employees adopt and maintain ethical behavior. Second, strengthen long-term HR governance system. Continuous monitoring, audits, and accountability should be implemented to ensure changes are permanent and effective. Third, adopt proactive organizational development strategies. Instead of waiting for a crisis, Top Glove should plan preventive and sustainability focused changes to avoid similar issues in the future. By following this recommendation, Top Glove can maintain ethical practice, protect workers, and ensure the business remains sustainable and resilient.
Okay, so as for the second issue, for improvement, Top Glove should improve its production planning by setting clear limits on how much to produce. This can help prevent too much stock when demand is low. Top Glove also should have a crisis response plan so that it can handle sudden event better and reduce losses, for example, the COVID pandemic. And lastly, Top Glove should monitor the market more closely by tracking global healthcare demand. This will help Top Glove to prepare earlier if the demand will drop again in the future. So that's all from us. I will pass to the Afif to conclude this presentation.
In conclusion, the study case highlights that while Top Glove has turned a corner, sustained success requires a shift from reactive, crisis-driven responses to proactive organizational development or OD strategies. This involves institutionalizing ethical labor standards into daily operations and strengthening human resources governance to prevent future reputational risks. Top Glove transformation is like a massive ship that hit an iceberg and then sailed into a sudden violent storm. By quickly repairing the hull, which is ethical remediation, and adjusting its sails to catch the changing winds, which is strategic rationalization, the ship managed to stay afloat and find a new, steadier course in calmer waters.